What's up guys, welcome back to a new Kangen Ashura Kangen Omega video. Today I'm going over some new Q&A questions and answers we got from the author Sandovich. Some are old that I never talked about in a video before, and some are new from like the last 2 weeks. Some interesting stuff to go over, let's begin. So the first question and answer I have here is Sandovich pretty much cucking us. The question was, did Towamudo participate in the Purgatory's Ultimate Gladiator playoffs? As we know, 1 year prior to the current Purgatory vs Kangen tournament that's going on currently, there was a Purgatory tournament where Lolong was the winner, and the question was, did Towamudo participate in those playoffs? And Sandovich's response, of course, that's still a secret. I'm guessing we're most likely going to find out this and more about the Purgatory Ultimate playoffs during Lolong's fight. We're probably going to learn more about Drota, and I think that's where we're going to get a better understanding of the power ranking for Team Purgatory. For example, if Towa did participate in the tournament, we'll most likely learn who defeated him. It may have been Lolong, may have been Drota, and if he didn't, it will still be up in there where Towa would actually rank, whether or not he'll rank above Drota or below Drota. But yeah, hopefully we find out soon, but Sandovich just cucking us with the first answer. The next question is, how strong are Amori and Takayama, the two personal bodyguards of Metsudo? How far would they go if they entered the Annihilation tournament? And what are their fighting styles? What martial arts do they use? And then his response, the answer will be revealed in Kangen Omega. So I'm getting hyped to that. The previous Fang before Kano Yito, and the person closest to the Fang, or the person who got cucked by Kano multiple times, never getting the title of the Fang. But yeah, regardless, these two are some of the most mysterious and pretty savage characters in the whole series. When we got Takayama's one fight against the head guard of Hayami, that was like one of the most brutal and insane fights, quick fights we got in the whole series. And Amori with, the legend of being the previous Fang, and it's everything about him. Can't wait to learn what their fighting styles are and more about them, and as he said here, will be revealed in Kangen Omega. The real question is when? Maybe when we get the reveal of who the 7th Fang of Metsudo is, the one that we skipped, we'll learn more information about all the Fangs. Maybe like 1 or 2 chapters just talking about the Fangs in general will be pretty hype, or maybe we'll get more like character profiles for 2 of them, which will explain that at some point. But yeah, can't wait to learn more information about those 2. Before I continue, make sure you're subscribed, and if you're an absolute mad lad, check out the other stuff in the description like the Discord and Patreon. Now back to the video. On to the next question, when did Lou and Nikaido know each other? And yeah, the response, Lou is a member of the Proper Society and Nikaido is a member of the Underworld. I don't see any direct connection between the two, so they don't really know each other, as was kind of implied in a previous chapter of Kangen Omega. They just grew up around the same area, but in different parts of that said area, but they're still very renowned in that area for their martial arts skills. So yeah, that's pretty cool, clarifying some stuff we learned recently. How did Hayami punch Drota on the ground? His response, the rules of the rivalry are similar to old Shuto, and I decided to look up what Shuto was, and there's a Wikipedia article. It's pretty much a mixed martial art promotion in Japan which started in 1986. There's a lot of other information in here if you want to check it out. I'll have it linked, or I'll just show it on screen now. But yeah, there's probably some more information where the inspiration for Purgatory's rules and the overall Purgatory setting came from, which is pretty cool. I was wondering, does Oma's ability to read flow of power help in predicting attacks to some degree? His response, yes, as you said. Then he replied again, would you say he can look 1 move into the future or multiple? Then Sandovich confirms that Oma can look 1 move ahead, and this is during Kangen Ashura. So confirmed, Oma has a little degree of foresight, which is pretty cool. And you could maybe argue that some characters, especially the high level characters, all have somewhat a degree of foresight, but having this alone just confirms Oma more so than not, so you can say he has 1 move ahead. And I believe Cosmo had 2 moves ahead in Ashura, so he's a little bit below Cosmo. But yeah, that's pretty cool to know, and not many people know this, so yeah, let's go. I was wondering about what Misa likes to do in his free time. Does he have any pets? And his response, he likes to slack off. And a lot of questions were similar to this, like what characters do in their spare time, what hobbies they have. Another example would be Lutien enjoys jazz and various foods that characters like to eat. I'm not going to cover any of those ones in today's video, because to be fair, I don't really care about those answers, and I'm guessing a lot of yous won't care as well. But yeah, there were a lot of other questions like that that aren't really too relevant to the, story and everything we're talking about. Do you plan to explore more of the past of the Kangaverse, for example, the journey of Metsudo and Iryo in Kanga matches? His response, their story is set up to be quite deep. I hope to publish it someday. So this confirms that possibly we'll get a spin-off of Metsudo and Iryo's, Kangen journey, more so than what we got in the Kangen Zero chapters, which is absolute hype. And he also talks about the want to publish their story for other characters that I'll talk about in today's video, and one about the Kure clan that he mentioned like 1 or 2 years ago. So one day, maybe after Kangen Mega finishes, we'll get more Kangen content in the form of side stories for various characters, which is pretty hard to think about, and the Kangen greatness will most likely live on. So yeah, Sandovich, the absolute mad lad. This question here, before I wasn't able to get a proper screenshot of it, was pretty much about Kanagito and the ability him to love, and then his response, I think normal love is difficult for him to understand. I hope to publish his story eventually. So yes, a Kanagito spin-off potentially at some point as well about his journey to find love or something like that. That'll be, I don't know, something different that we haven't really got in Kanga. But yeah, that's another interesting question and more hype for a Kano spin-off one day. Does Harmy know that he's a clone? If he does, will he be okay with it? The answer to that question is still a mystery. I personally don't think he knows he's a clone, but maybe as the story progresses, as we get to see him more, he'll eventually find out and may actually snap after finding out and end up killing the older Harmy, which would be a crazy twist or something like that. But that's just my little headcanon theory thing. But yeah, just confirming more stuff regarding clones and everything like that. And the last Q&A question to go over in today's video. Hello, I'm a big fan from China. I have a few questions asked. 2 years ago, I believe that's referring to Oma, lost to Kuroki, and how much difference is there between Oma and Kuroki at the time? Which is stronger, Samato or Ryan? As you know, Samato is a relative of the Kure clan from Fist of the Seeker, who had this special, unique version of the removal and also used Mortai. And I believe this last part of the question is talking about Nitoki, if he participated in the Kangenashu Annihilation Tournament, based on the answer we got from Sandovich, and now onto the answer. So the difference between Oma and Kuroki, there was a difference in ability, but depending on the development, Oma may have won. So potentially if he landed for example, Demon's Bane directly, if Kuroki didn't sacrifice his arm to counter it, he could have won. Or maybe if he was full health, he could have had more of a chance to win, but there is a difference in ability. And he also says a similar thing about Kana and Kuroki and Ashura, that Kuroki does have a better ability, or there is a difference between the two. He says, I think Samato and Ryan will have a good match. He does this for a lot of the Q&A questions for ones he doesn't really want to answer. Some he kind of hints at them having a good match, but one character slightly having the edge. But for a lot of them, for example, if Oma's Nico was to fight Kuroki, he'll be like, oh yeah, they'll have a good match. But yeah, this one as well, they'll have a good match, meaning they're pretty much around equal, or he doesn't really want to say. And he said if Nitoku participates in a tournament, he can aim for victory. I'm not too sure how to take that. Maybe it's like he can push to the later rounds, or he can potentially get victory if he gets extremely lucky, but I doubt it considering he lost to pre-round 1 at Kanagito. But yep, those are all the interesting Q&A questions from the author Sandovich, from various people on Twitter that I wanted to talk about in today's video. There is a ton more on his Twitter, and some that are being translated on the Reddit as well that I've talked about in previous other videos for certain characters, but as a whole, these are the new ones that I could find that were worthy of further discussion. But yep, that's pretty much everything for today's video, guys. As always, shout out to the Mad Lads who support the channel via the Patreon. If you want to support the channel as well while receiving various benefits, make sure to check out the Patreon in the description. But yep, that's it, guys. Peace.